Hi everyone, welcome to Keys to Inspire number 10, and today I'm gonna share with you the 7 sins of a musician. So last week I went to see Sinners. It's a super cool movie with Michael B. Jordan, and it speaks about music. And as I was coming back from the theater, I was thinking, well, aren't we sinners, we musicians? And I actually think that there are like 7 things that will derail. I will not speak about your musical career because maybe not all of you are professionals, but at least they will spoil your relationship with music. So I came out with these 7 sins inspired by the 7 deadly sins. So the sin number 1, I'll call that materialism. It's actually being obsessed with gear, being obsessed with the instrument you own or the instruments that you want to own, and thinking that actually your musical journey is extremely dependent on that, thinking that you're gonna get inspired only with new instruments, thinking that your current instruments are not enough, and thinking all the time about your guitars, the guitar you want to have, or your keyboard, or your synths. Well, actually, you can be someone who do a collection of instruments, and it has its qualities. You can be interested in the years of each instrument. It can be a thing for itself. But when it becomes a pretext for not playing or thinking that you'll only release your music when you're gonna have the right gear, it's actually a trap, and a lot of us are in that trap. So the gear and the instruments you're having or will have are just a medium, they're just a mean to an end. Sin number 2, and that's perfectionism. It's this trap of thinking that you'll only release the song when it's gonna be perfect. It's this idea that you're gonna be performing live only when all your songs are gonna be finished and polished. It's this idea of sharing your songs only when they are perfect. It's this idea that you shouldn't be sharing on social media you playing if it's not perfect by your taste. It's this thing that will get in the way of your recording process when you're gonna be doing like the 7th take and thinking it's not perfect, and you're gonna be tired by that. So perfectionism can get in the way at all the steps of your musical journey and creation. And that's the best way from preventing you from showing what you're doing, sharing with the people, and getting feedback and learning from your imperfect music. The 3rd sin is what I would call technicalism. It doesn't exist, but it's this obsession with the technical part of music craftsmanship. It's this idea of how fast can you play, how consistent can you play, what intricate harmonies are you capable of playing, what impossible rhythms are you capable of playing, and thinking that music and the goal of music is to be able to achieve the fastest playing, the most complex, sophisticated playing, when it's actually about emotion and where your technical abilities are a mean for you to express your emotion. So it's a trap that people get stuck in, and it's not good for your energy. It's not good for your energy with the other musicians, because you will be only analyzing things through that angle of technicality. The 4th sin would be the opposite of technicalism. I would call that superficialism. It's not being lazy. You have all these memes about the fact that you should be practicing all the time. But actually, it's more like this. No matter what you will be doing musically, even if you're not a professional, you will need to invest time in anything that you want to use as a way to express yourself. For example, obviously, if you're a violinist, if you're not working on your technique, you will not sound good and you will not be able to give to your audience your feeling because you won't be able to strike your bow correctly. But let's say you're in electronic music and you don't need to per se play an instrument. But if you don't invest time in the synthesizer you're using, in the drum machine you're using, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. So superficialism is thinking that spending a very, very sparse amount of time in an instrument or a musical practice will help you express yourself. There is a minimum to invest in any instrument you're in. The fifth sin is another one that doesn't exist. I call that the who's betterism. Who's betterism. So it's this thing of comparing yourself. Going to a concert, and if you're a drummer, comparing yourself to the drummer that is on stage, watching an Instagram reel and comparing yourself to the drummer, for example, or you're a guitar player and you go on go on a big venue or even in a jam session, and you will be comparing your playing and the guitarist playing, and that is really the road to bitterness, frustration, and you're not going to be able to grow. You can be inspired by a guitarist. You can, for example, observe a drummer and say, I love how he approaches his snare, and I'm going to watch it and be inspired and get maybe ideas from that. But the who's betterism is usually something that gets in the way of musicians to enjoy music. And even if you're not a professional, you shouldn't compare yourself to non-professionals, to professionals, because music is really an endless practice, and no one is higher or lower than anybody else. It's just a matter of how much time do you spend on your instrument, and everybody can find a nice relationship with music without needing to compare. The sixth sin, it's another invention of mine. Let's call that the rock and rollism. So rock and rollism is this kind of music will come with the lifestyle of rock and roll, meaning not taking care of yourself, not taking care of your health, not taking care of your ears, abusing substances. This sounds very trivial, but really, as an artist, you don't need to have a very crazy lifestyle to be an artist. You can have a very healthy lifestyle, and the more you will be cautious and careful about it, the more you'll be able to play for a long time. If you care about your ears, you're going to be able to hear and listen to music along for until you're 60 and 70. If you take care of your health and your lifestyle, you'll be able to enjoy music. You don't need to be this rock and roll in your lifestyle to be rock and roll in your music. And the seventh sin is, let's call that a-holism. It's thinking that music is about playing music and playing in tune and singing correctly and being in rhythm. When music is a lot about humans, music is a lot about interacting with other musicians, interacting with the audience, interacting with the sound engineer, interacting with the staff, interacting with your fans online, and it's about being a great human. So no, like what I call a-holism is, for example, thinking you're better because you're particularly gifted and virtuoso in your instrument, thinking you're better because you're very well known in your local scene, So it's the sin of thinking that your human and soft skills are not critical and you can afford not developing them because you're a great musician. So that's it. I gave my 7 sins. So I hope this is going to be useful for you in your journey as a musician, would it be professional or not professional. And I hope you like this content. If you like it, consider subscribing. Maybe in your comment, you will share with me an additional sin that I didn't think of. And I wish you all a great day ahead and see you soon in the next episode of Keys to Inspire. Take care.